tell us the story about getting cast to be in The Mandalorian.
Well, as many life-changing events career-wise have happened, started with a phone call from my agent. I had been with Michael at that point. I've been with Michael now 13 years. So anyway, Michael calls and he said, what's your feeling on prosthetic gigs? I know you said you hate them. And I had guest starred on Angel. And it was, okay, everything I've read now about Josh Whedon and everything, it sort of makes sense, but that was a very unhappy set. It was not a pleasurable experience. And the makeup was sheer misery. And I was working, oh Lord, I mean, I'm not kidding. I worked 7 days straight with a weekend off in the middle, but I was there 17, 18 hours a day, putting it all on, taking it all off. And so I took Michael, so what you feeling about prosthetics? I said, I hate them. No way, not doing it unless somebody's going to pay me 7 figures, and I'm not going to get paid that much. And Michael said, well, it's a prosthetic gig. They got a call. They're asking for you. I'll let them know. I'll let the folks over at Disney know. It's some Star Wars, but it's a TV thing. I went, whoa, hang on. Are you talking about Jon Favreau's Mandalorian? He said, oh yeah, Jon Favreau is producing it. I said, fuck yes, I'll do it. Yeah, sure. So that's how I ended up. Well, the NDA I had to sign was like 12, 14 pages long. It was ridiculous. And you only get the scenes that you're in. They don't give you the whole script. And the show had not even premiered yet. So they're already shooting season 2 before season 1 starts. And like I had to wear a cowl. If I walked between sound stages on the lot, it had to be hidden because you had not seen the Weequay. You know, that was news that there's going to be a Weequay character.
Right.
So anyway, that's how it is. Well, I get the scenes. It's the child. Well, of course, Tim and I have a history, and I've known Pedro for years. Pedro and I did a pilot together 10, 12 years ago that never saw the light of day. So I'm excited. And the Favreau's going to be my buddies in Star Wars. And so I get there. Makeup's all done. Now, the cowl was incredibly uncomfortable because I'm not bragging, but I have been told by numerous wardrobe mistresses that I got the biggest one in Hollywood. And when you got the biggest head in Hollywood, that's saying something. So the face was molded and made, but the cowl was like a vice on my head, which feels fine for about half an hour, but by the end of a 14-hour day. But anyway, we get there, super duper secretive. I get off the van. I'm on Tatooine. Tatooine was an actual build. It wasn't on the volume.
Right. Okay.
And, there's a bantha right when I get out of the van. I'm like, oh my God, there's a working bantha. So we get inside, we get on the sound stage, everybody's there. Being a Deadwood fan, you might recognize this piece of dialogue. So I'm behind the bar. Tim walks up and I go, you ought to pin that fucking badge on your chest. You just hypocrite enough to wear it, you fucking cocksucker. And Tim gives me some Deadwood line back. Because that's our exact relationship in Deadwood. Me behind the bar and him, the town sheriff. So
my heart just left a little just hearing you recite that.
well, Favreau goes, oh my God, I did not consciously. I idolize David Milch, and I think that's his masterwork. He pointed to Tim, and he went, "We cast you." And I told casting, I said, "Get Earl Brown to be Tonti." Holy shit! I've recreated Deadwood in space. And I said, well, can we throw some fucks and cocksuckers into the dialogue? He goes, I don't think George would sign off on that. So as we're having a big laugh, the props guy brings his cart in. It wheels behind Tim and Pedro, and I see it, and I see a little baby Yoda on the cart. And now, mind you, this is a Thursday. The show's premiering on Friday. So this baby Yoda comes by. I thought, oh, that's darling. The props guy made himself a little baby Yoda. That's so cute. And so I'm still like, John says, all right, well, let's go to one and let's rehearse one. Well, I'm thinking, well, where the hell's the kid? Where's the child?
What's this kid out
action.
Of?
Well, then Tim and I speak. We have some lines, and then Pedro enters, and there's a Grogu on a stick that a puppeteer is operating, and then it dawns on me, holy shit, that's the child. So I get home that night, and my wife is a VP of internal comms at Disney. At that point, she was just in the streaming division. So I get home, and I'm like 13 years old. Like, we're at the dinner table here at the house. I said, there's a baby Yoda. I mean, he's not Yoda because Yoda's his name. He's got a different name. But he's like a Yoda. He's like a baby. But he's 50 years old because they age differently. Well, my wife she kind of has this smirk on her face, and I stop and I went, you knew? And with perfect timing, Carrie goes, "You're not the only person in this house with an NDA, you know." So